What's up, guys? Good morning. I had a little trouble there this morning. Welcome. If you guys are looking for a place to trade, right, on YouTube, not delayed, you're in the right place. Thank you for being here. Stick around. If this is your first time with us, we're about a half hour out until the bell rings. So, I was going over the stream, and I'm like, man, the mic sounded god awful. So I apologize. I'm gonna work on that. If you guys have any uh, like anything, any comments that you can provide to give me some help on some things that I could do. I don't want to waste a bunch of time on yapping, but again, thank you for being here. My goal here is to one, record my live trading. I get to personally kind of watch things back, see how I was, and versus what the market was doing, and all that fun stuff, right? Share news. I'm only one person, so having a group and a community is it's pretty important, and it can go a long way with keeping you successful and being on the right side of trades, being in the right names, and all that stuff, or just not doing anything, taking a step back. Okay. Again, thank you guys for being here. I want to apologize again because the mic was awful um, yesterday and even the day before. So I may have to go back through and go through all my settings. All right, so let's get into it. There is some news. There's a lot of things going on, believe it or not. Private credit, you have Blue Owl. Okay. Blue Owl is just having a really, really, really hard time, you guys. And if you're on this trade, congrats to you. Oh, first, could you hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so? That's really all that I ask. Okay. Um, Hit the like button. If you have any questions, just give me a few minutes because I have charts on this side, on this monitor as well, and I just don't have enough room to see the chats to chat live. You know what? I'll just end up making it smaller, and we'll do it that way. So let's get our day started. It's already 8:50. We only have a few minutes here. Um, Again, all that I ask, guys, is hit the like button, subscribe, and if I help you guys make some money today, if I save you money, you guys can donate to the stream, right? I feel like you don't go to a restaurant and they make you pay for the food first. If I make you money and you want to give back, awesome, right? Other than that, like, subscribe. That's really all I ask. So let's start our day. Um, we've already talked about how we were watching since Tuesday that this pullback on the pivot highs on the ES and SPY. Okay, that's we already know that we have the range. This whole area down here, this is already gonna annoy me. The fact that it just jumps around like it does. But if I don't, right? Never mind. I'm not even gonna get into it. Right? It's just the way the thinkorswim settings are. So you have this Friday's low and Monday's pivot high. You had this whole little zone right here, and you just pulled right into it. So we're gonna keep our eyes on that. Okay. You kind of have a range. You have a nice wide range as far as your daily moving averages, right? Let's see where our 9 EMA is at. Excuse me, because I think that that really sets us up. Yeah, your 9 EMA is up there at 6,800 on the ES. All right, I'm not going to go over the spying cues. We'll go through that as it is. I think that nothing's really changed. Okay, some stocks that are moving this morning. Okay, I have a trade idea that I haven't put on yet. I think I talked about it yesterday a little bit. All right, first thing is first. Bumble BM. There, I think that's it. I don't think I'm gonna trade this. I don't think I'm gonna trade it. Had a really nice, I think, what, a 21% pop here. All right, 21% pop. You're sitting right above that 50-day. You have the 100-day right in your way, along with this whole area of resistance. Okay, probably not something I'm gonna be too focused on, unless you know. The way I'd like to get involved in this is if you're above 380, and I'm not sure that that happens just yet. Anything can happen. Anything can happen, but just I'll keep it on the radar. I'll keep it on the radar. Netscape, that's down 17%. Okay. What is Netscape's ticker? Scape, I think it is. Okay, this is Netscape is down. NTSK. All right, so you had a decent pullback here on Netscape. Did this thing just start trading? Wow. Wow. Okay. So yeah, that's down 17%. Um, on the back of weak guidance. Okay, Netscope. Netscope? Yeah, that's Netscope as well. I just wanted to make sure they were the same. Um, they had an adjusted loss of 6 cents, 6 and 7 cents per share for the first quarter, while analysts were expecting 6 cents per share, not a loss. The company actually said that they came out and said that they see a greater loss for full year than analysts expected. All right, private credit. Let's get into the good stuff. Sorry, I should have turned my mic off there. So I sold BX. Okay, I was not going to sit through this. I felt the storm coming. I want to show you guys something here. This is important. Okay, and it's played out, and the same thing's happening with Apple. Not everything is. You're going to see what I mean when I say this, and I'm trying. That's another thing I'm trying to do with the stream is be more, you know, uh, clear with my words and what I say. Okay. Um, So if we pull this up, okay, and this is why I got rid of my position, okay, for the time being. Look, and you're seeing this with a lot of stocks. The story in a lot of these names seems to be done. Look at that. Look at that. I wouldn't be surprised if we get back down into 65. I don't think this company's going anywhere. Listen, I don't know what's going on underneath, you know, what's going on behind closed doors. Do I think that they're going to, go do some of these companies go bankrupt? I mean, nothing's. I'm not ruling any of that out, but I think Blackstone is a good stock to own, and I'll just sit back and buy it at a cheaper price. I purchased it here, then I did some more digging, and I'm just looking at the chart pattern. You have some things like India can kind of get funny as well. They have a lot of exposure there. So I got rid of it. I'm kind of on to a new thesis going into the next couple years. So I want you guys to see that. And a lot of stocks have played this Fibonacci retracement out, right? Their story has been told and they're pulling in, right? That same thing goes for Microsoft. Okay. Same thing goes for Microsoft. Look at this. Okay. Oh, that wasn't there. I'm sorry. Did it for Apple too, I'm pretty sure. So you had your uptrend here, Bink, Bink, and look at that. Matches right up there with that fourth. Um, you know, I don't. This is a little bit different, but I'm just showing you what the charts are showing me. All right, Apple, same thing. A lot of these names, the stories have storied. Okay, the stories have storied. I mean, we could go. How did I do this one? This is a weekly chart here. Look at that, another one. It's you know what I'm saying, guys. And again, I'm starting in a position where the move starts, and it in that first decent pullback. And that look, you were not able to close up above there. Why? So just keep an eye on it. We could just get in a position where a whole new setup takes place. All right, back to this stuff that's moving because That's what's important. All right. Blue Owl. Okay. Blue Owl is down. Okay. And if you don't know the news, okay, here we go. All right. Blue Owl. So private credit stocks. Blue Owl lost 3.1%. Blackstone and Apollo Global shed 2%. The declines come after Morgan Stanley and Cliffwater imposed caps on withdrawals from their multi-billion-dollar private credit funds to stem investors' ongoing flight from asset decline. Wait, what? To so Morgan Stanley and Cliffwater imposed caps on withdrawals from their multi-billion-dollar private credit funds to stem investors. There should be a FROM in there from ongoing flight, or they did it afterwards. Okay, ongoing flight from the asset classes. They could have worded that much differently, which has recently been on a shaky footing. I'd like to see the receipts. So if anybody has news or anybody has anything that can point to all of this, I haven't seen anything. I also haven't looked, but I'd like to see what's like are bills not being paid? Is there defaults happening behind closed doors? I know there's a few things going on with one of the I think it was Dish, right? But you know, maybe is it valuations? Like is there just a lot of like shakiness for no reason? So if you guys have any articles or anything that can provide more insight on this, I'd love to see it. Um, Hims and Hers rose more than 5% again after Eli Lilly issued a notice about an impurity in a compounded version of its weight loss drug and warned health risks linked to the medicine. That's not good. Let's go check out LLY. It's not down at all really today. That's weird. All right, I don't. All right, it's 9:02. I just want to speed this up a little bit. Let's get Hims real quick, and I wonder what that did to Novo Nordisk. Might be one of those days. We might have to look at small caps or whatever. It might be one of those days, guys. Um. Okay, so it's still pushing, man. Damn, I should have just went ahead and bought this after that news. Um. What I look for out of Hims is I would look for a pullback into that 50-day. You still have room up to $30, but this move has moved. Right, that move has already kind of like put itself in. You're late to the party. I'm sorry to say it. Any pullbacks back down into the support at 25, 25.50. That's another. That would be another good opportunity if you want to own this thing. And your 50-day lines, I'm pretty sure, right up there with. Whoa, 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 whoa! Look, guys, this thing has a really nice island reversal. Kind of like what I said on ISRG yesterday, and I said a head and shoulders instead of an island reversal. But that's what I meant yesterday. I accidentally said head and shoulders, but I was talking about this zone up here for an island reversal, okay, to the downside. We'll see if that even happens. We'll see. It's got to retest it. But look at Hims, guys. Any pullbacks on this? This is a beautiful island reversal. You have a huge gap here on both ends right there. So I'm going to be honest. Any pullbacks, again, that would mean you're breaking the 50-day. Um, or if you can just hold and get that 20-day to can just kind of chew up a few days there and get it up there to hold you as support, you could be looking at a really nice setup here. I want to get rid of all these lines, but so that's one. Keep your eyes out on this. Keep your eyes out on that. You just don't have the volume and stuff with it, but whatever. Whatever. I mean, you can't. I just don't. Usually you have that upside and then the gap up and then the pull into the upside. So I'll watch for any pullbacks back into $20. But we'll see if it plays out. The volume's not matching it, but the price action is. The price action is every time you look at a time frame here, there's nothing but sell side volume on it. But the buyers keep winning. So anyway, um, all right. Dick's Sporting Goods rose 3%. Dollar General, they had earnings yesterday. That's right. Let me go here. I need to post a stream. UiPath dropped 8%. Yeah, that was last night. So we have UiPath. Man, I am dying for PetSmart to go public. We had Petco yesterday, UiPath, and Dollar General. Let's see here. Why is Dollar General not on there? All right, Dollar General came down. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I mean, as long as you're, it's already broke it. You might be able to get a short here on this today. This could offer some opportunity. It kind of just opens up here. And even if you look on the daily chart here for Dollar General, you had the 100-day moving average coming up into that zone. Um, I wanted to buy this down here because these stores have like the like most. These guys execute on location. You know the guys behind Dollar General. I think they do a good job executing and planning their stores where they know people are going to go. Like they're within reach before you get to your Walmart, before you get to your other grocery store. Oh, you need dish soap, all the things that like you don't necessarily need to go to like a big store. They have it and it's roughly around the same price. It's not much more expensive. I think if they lower their prices just a little bit or could sell them for the same as others, I think they could kill it. I really do. They just then there's that volume factor that they sell. Like they would, you know, they're not set up at least right now to handle huge volume like a Walmart or a Target or Costco. So yeah, I would just look for pullbacks into that 100-day moving average. I like this zone here. You have some nice support if you're thinking about trading this. I'm gonna go turn to the scanners really quickly. It's already not. It's not too late. It's not too late. So that's Dollar General. I don't want to look around for names. I know like Home Depot. See if that had any bearing on it. So Home Depot is coming into a massive level here of support. Let me just get rid of all this. Let me get rid of all this. This thing has been trading sideways for a while now. And you have this zone and this zone up here. I want to take that. I want to take that down. All right. Anyway, um, here it goes. They're gonna start doing this shit with the candles. Look at that. Somebody got filled a lot of order down there at 18 bucks. Get man, this sucks. All right, so tonight, guys, we have Alta, Servers Titan. We have Adobe, Rubrik. I've been thinking about buying Rubrik. Um, we'll see if we get any RBRK. see if we can get some better prices here. But you know, I was looking at some of the valuations for some of these companies, and like Service Now, I've been wanting to buy that, but like, look, it's been taken back. So if we start to hold, I just private credit is still getting murdered. Um, and the same could be said for these software names as well. Okay. So I'm going to be a little patient. I may buy some shares today because I don't want to be a fool and you know like think I'm going to get the very bottom. It's not what I'm trying to do. It's just I don't want to step in front of this. I just don't want to step in front of it, and there's more downside to come. So, all right, let's get into some trade ideas here. Palantir, I want to keep that on my watch. So we went over earning. Oh, UI Path. Let's go look at Path real quick. It's a cheap stock. Okay. All right. All right. Let's see here. Let's see here.
Work. I've read in the papers that we are able to engage and fight in a war in the way we haven't been able to in the past, that we've regained our deterrent capabilities, and partly, obviously, it's the men and women on the front line that deserve most of the credit. But, the fact that you can now target more precisely, more accurately, more quickly, and that you, meaning America, can do these things, organize the total power of our fleet and all of our resources, and bring it to bear against adversaries and enemies, has shifted the way in which war is fought. And I have read that Palantir's Project Maven is the core backbone of that. And then I've also read that all the allies, Arab and non-Arab in the Middle East, may or may not be users of our platform as well, and that's expanding rapidly. I think the most important thing, leaving aside the heroism of our troops, which is the most important thing, is our adversaries and enemies are witnessing an ability to fight that they don't have. And they are going to find it very hard to acquire for a couple reasons. We have, for better or worse, as many know, I've been essentially an anti-neocon. I don't really believe in the wars we fought in the past, but because I don't believe in regime change, and that's one of the reasons I'm supportive of this policy that we currently have. But what you want is to have a capacity that no one else can replicate. And America is the center of the AI revolution. The large language models on the battlefield are only useful if powered inside an ontology, and that's our ontology. And yeah, I guess I've read we're at the core of everything, and maybe that's exaggerated, but
Project Maven used to identify Iranian targets, including the Supreme Leader.
Well, I can't obviously go into specifics, but there are two things that are very important about this in general. One, you have to take infrastructure, both commercial and in government, that was built for an industrial age, and you have to transform that into infrastructure that takes advantage of the industrial capacities, and then puts them in a position where they can use post-industrial technologies, AI. What Palantir's products do in commercial and in government is take latent infrastructure, hospitals, planes, engines, missiles, and allows you to coordinate in a way as if it was built for today, very, very rapidly. And then we layer things on top of it that did not even exist a year ago, like being able to do 1,000 munitions that would have taken 2 years, 5 years ago. Being able to understand what hit, how it hit, under what conditions, what's actually also coordinating between allies. Like if you, as a matter of theory, you're coordinating between allies that do not have full access to our data. And how do you do that? Well, that's a software Palantir uniquely driven problem that currently only we can do.
So Palantir is working with our allies in the Middle East that are currently being attacked by Iran?
Well, if you were attacked and you needed to coordinate, you would have to have a coordinating function. There's only one product that can actually do that for security, and that has to do with how we pipeline and do things in Foundry. So the short answer is, without answering your question, were this to work, there's only one way you can do it. And by the way, it's exactly what's happening in U.S. commercial. It's like if you have an airline or you have an engine, you essentially have 50 companies. It's not one company. And now you have to make those 50 companies work as one company because otherwise the company that buys our product is going to do that.
And commercial is growing 137% year over year. Two big deals announced just in the last hour. Excuse me, the U.S. Navy as well as GE Aerospace.
Sure.
Yeah, look, there's a lot we could, again, if you look at the financials, the bigger question in all of this, honestly, is what creates value, what gives you outsized alpha that can't be replicated on the battlefield, on the commercial battlefield. So at large companies, GE Aerospace, NVIDIA, very technical companies, and or essentially our ability to target and take out adversaries and enemies in a way no one else can. From a non-moral perspective, they're exactly the same. And why would you have to do this? It's because what makes you lethal on the battlefield and what makes you commercially viable, like in the current phase we're in, an AI-enhanced phase, you have.
I don't think we're getting anything out of it. All right. Palantir was on my watch after watching it yesterday. It's just one of those days. It is what it is. Okay. So if we look here, Palantir's kind of just been hanging out. It's pulling in. I have alerts set here. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I was on. I'm gonna look for bounce backs. You have your 50-day up here, right? You got up there at around 154, okay, and you could not hold it, right? You had that pullback. What is that? Tuesday. Today this is a nice support level, and I said it's obviously pre-market, but you could have got this yesterday on the reclaim back above this level. I said, start building these strategies if you're kind of struggling or starting out. Look at all these buyers here, okay? And your job would not be to make money. Just every time you see something like this, we went over a bunch of charts that had like setups where you would take it for, X reason, right? This reason, support, meta. There was a ton of sellers up into that area. So every time it gets there, you didn't, you would have got shaken out here yesterday. But again, you would be patient to wait, see if it holds. But look, that's your pre-market low. You never closed the candle below it, at least on a 15-minute chart. Okay. So you get down into that zone, you kind of watch it, and you're a buyer. Oh my God. I hate this. I hate Thinkorswim. I don't hate it, but anyway. So now we're bouncing back. Okay. The problem is a lot of those sellers are up there at 156. 156 may take us above the 50-day. So I was looking short here. I was hoping to get, 154, but it looks like 156 is going to be the area. Um, so I have been watching for this. I want to see these previous lows, previous highs to reject, but I don't know if that'll be the case. I think you get back up through it. But you had the 50-day also right there, which is going to start coming in where it'll start coming in right at 154. And, you could not hold that area. So maybe that could give us a reason for buyers to step away. Um, right now, it is in a position where it's neutral from the looks of it, where you don't have like you're not like tremendously overbought, but dude, what you guys see why I get frustrated? Like randomly, it just went to nothing. So my point here is if you can buy this correctly. This is going to be a tough area at 150 to get through, but I think the fact that you have held it for, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, today being the 7th, okay, and you don't make any progress, I think buyers step away, and let's see if we can get this thing to pull back into like, the low 140, mid to low 140s. Maybe even get a test of this 20-day moving average that's coming up here. All right, so that's something I'm going to be watching for. I don't want to just go shorting Palantir, okay, just for the hell of it. But my target is going to be these previous highs back at like the mid 140s, 144, 145. And that would give you a nice pullback retest of this area at 145. you'd start to have that 20-day move up there as well. So let's see what happens here with Palantir. Um, I'm gonna have it on my watch. Hopefully the trigger doesn't happen pre-market, and then I miss it. So Hims is on the board as one of the trending names. Again, if it's your first time here, welcome. I appreciate you guys being here.
The WF-1000XM6s from Sony have upgraded bone conduction that are able to...
Dude. I don't know why everything's taking so long. Bro, Tilly's is a thing. Like not a thing, but like it's traded. How did I not know this? What is the news on Tilly's? What is going on? And I'm actually, before I do this, I'm going to log out and log back in because they love to not let me place orders because I haven't done anything. They make me log out, log back in. That's, messed me up twice this week from getting a decent price. All right, Tilly's. Obviously, I think it's pretty clear here. You have some prior highs. Let me pull up the daily. So Wall Street just stepping open lower. Let's see here. Okay, so it was fourth quarter financial results and issued Q1 sales guidance above estimates. So what is the market cap here for Tilly's? This is the work that's got to be done. What? So it has to, hopefully it's correct. So as of early March 2026, the market cap of Tilly's is approximately 45 to 50 million. What is that? Am I crazy in this? 45 to 50 million market cap? That's it? Not 100, not like 500? Dude, this cannot be right. Reported between 43.27 million shares outstanding, 23 million, 52 weeks. Bro. $49.6 million. Holy cow. All right, so let's go look at what was their revenue yesterday. So their market cap, okay, is 49.6. Okay, you see that there. That's not me saying this. Now, let's go look at their revenue. Okay? This is wild, bro. That is am I the only one that thinks that is crazy? Like, look, 49 million market cap, and they have sales of 119 million to 125 million. Maybe that's so. Q1 gap EPS 34.27 sees sales of 119 million versus 100 and to 125 versus 108. What was their revenue? Sales was 155.1. So that's what makes me think that this is wrong, unless this is a company from overseas or something. I don't want to spend Q4 net 2.94 million. Is that their net revenue? Like, because that's not cool. Like, if you had 155 million in sales, like, is that 155 million sales? What do you pay? What are they paying, a quarter for it? Like, Chili's fourth quarter net 2.94 million. Right? What? I don't understand. I don't know. This is kind of like throwing me off here. Let me see this real quick. I don't want to. I don't want to. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. I'm not worried about it right now. I'll look at the chart. All right. You got some resistance here at $2. You have a gap fill up at 3. And $4 looks like a key area. A lot of support here. Okay. All right. So let's see. Hims, Pat, DG, Fly. It's only a few minutes, guys. This may be one of those days, and that's okay. Damn, look at this thing. Fly leasing. Let's fly aerospace. So it says Fly Leasing, and then the name is Fly Aerospace. Oh, Firefly Aerospace. So then what's ASTS doing? NBIS. Let's go check these names again. So we have NBIS. It's a lot to look over here, guys. It's a lot to look over. Okay, NBIS. So I may not have much. I may not have much. Unless I find something. I may not be doing much here today. Instead of just going over some names, maybe looking for some long-term buys. Just have some fun today. Maybe not have fun, but you know what I mean. All right, ASTS. I had this short back here about 3 weeks ago, guys. Once it broke out and failed, I was watching it here. You had all these rejections up here, and then you got above it. You had the 20-day moving average on the daily chart moving up there, and it could not hold it. And it broke through the level, and then boom, ever since it's just been down. This was a beautiful trade that I was not on. I wasn't on. Anyway, we'll go look at like ASTS, OCLO, MP, CCJ, like kind of just look around. We'll look at oil. If you guys have questions, don't be afraid. Throw them in the chat. Say hello. I'd like to, let's see. Let's see here. That's not doing much. Wow. CF Holdings. Holy cow. What is this, guys? Look at this. What a beast. What is this? Fertilizer companies are trading higher and amid concerns ongoing closures of the Strait of Hormuz limit exports of key Middle Eastern products producers Saudi Arabia and UAE. Bro, they have other ways. That was today. So, um, UiPath, we talked about that. Yeah, we kind of went through a lot of these names already. I have to keep that one on watch. All right, the SMH, kind of just stuck in a little range here. It's got a gap to be filled up there at 412. We got 1 minute here, guys. I'll probably just stick with the names I've been watching. I keep an eye on SMH. That Monday high. Okay, it's still above Monday's high, but you also have your 50-day moving average that's going to be coming in. I got to turn this down so your speakers don't get blown when the bell rings. We'll take it as it comes today, guys. We'll take it as it comes. Just be patient out there. Let's have fun. Let's have fun today. Let's, you know, just worry about doing our job and not, trying to force things. Let me actually go to the SPY. I got to turn this down. All right, there we go. There's our there's our Palantir. There's our Palantir. Shit. All right, guys. Wow. Okay. Let's see. Let's see the news here. So it bounced. Palantir's AI to supercharge America's nuclear comeback. What's going on with Micron on Thursday? NVIDIA Palantir partnership sees data sovereign AI deployment. Is this a shake and bake? No, look. You just rejected that 50-day. NVIDIA, you're pulling. Just watch Monday's lows there. Don't try to get cute here. Listen, if you win on the short, you win. Okay, just make sure you have some volume. You have Monday's highs right there. Just understand that. I'm gonna keep my eyes on Palantir. I've been sneakily watching Palantir this week. I haven't said much about it. Oh my gosh, I don't understand why the charts have to bounce around like they do. I don't understand it. All right, so that's a 15-minute chart. All right, that was a beautiful hold right there on the S&Ps. Okay, that was a beautiful hold right there, guys. Beautiful hold. So the thing with Palantir too, to realize is you also have your 90 MA below you. You know, this could be a nice trade back into 144. The question is, does it give it to you like in a manner in which you can get paid on options? If you want to, if you're a person that doesn't mind shorting, then that's fine. If you don't short, don't start now if you don't know the risk, okay? Because you will get your butt whooped if things go sideways and you don't know what to do. If you can't read the charts on your own, okay? Um, or manage the position by if you can't manage the position, be careful what you're doing. Anyway, um, so it's in a nice uptrend. Okay, you are back above um the earnings day, that earnings low of the day, but you came in, excuse me, with a gap up. So really the day after earnings. Okay, you're above that low right now. You got up above it uh this week, end of last week, you got above it, then you failed. Now you're up there again. And that level is going to be right around like 153. It's going to be in the low 153s. This could be a nice short up there. Watch for rejections. I want to see how my computer and stuff acts because I feel like it's just dying to just go slow and pause on me, which is crazy. I'm going to have to see. It's 9:34. Today is the 12th. Today's Thursday. Um, okay. Me personally, I'm going to be watching next week options if I trade this. So here you go. You're getting that move to 156. So you're above that 50-day moving average right now. Trying to go positive. Dude, I just clicked it. You can remain overbought. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm going to try. This thing may or could start squeezing. I think it's a bit overdone, but I don't want to fight the trend. Yeah, my computer's it only does this when it wants me to update it, which excuse my language, but it's bullshit. It's bullshit. It doesn't do it when I don't have to update it. And they only want me to update it to just put more shit on my computer, which is crazy. Shit's really pissing me off, bro. Like Microsoft, stop doing this, or we're never going to get that stock to bounce back because more and more people are using Linux for a reason and deleting everything, right? They're deleting all that fluff on the computer. This is ridiculous. What the fuck is This is ridiculous. Let's go. That was some nice volume this morning. Um, okay, so we're looking at. I just missed it there. I want to be patient. I don't want to be longing or trying to go short when the SPY and the overall markets are at a support level. We'll see what happens here. Let's see what happens. I kind of want to take pounds here, but so you guys see here to the bottom left, you see that earnings? You came in with the gap up, held, and then it broke. You just got back above it. You got above it the end of last week to the beginning of this week, and then it failed. So this level here at 150, it's like 154, 155. Yeah, 154. I wish I knew how to be a little bit more entertaining to where people enjoyed, coming here. I don't know how to do that. We're here to make money anyway. I'm not here to entertain. Um, let's go through these scanners. So financials are bouncing. It looks like this is your level here, guys. Watch this 155. Watch this 155 level on Palantir. It's important. This is an important level, guys. This is a nice support level for the SPY. This is a really nice support level. Man, a 680 run off of this would be nice, but you need to have the volume. You know, you're negative. It's just not trending in the right direction. I'm going to get frustrated, man, with this. I am going to get frustrated. Negative, not good. This is not good. So you're having some luck with names bouncing back, right? CRM, your software names, IGV. Look at that wedge. That is a really nice wedge here. Let's pull up the hourly chart. That's a really nice wedge. Really nice wedge. What I'm doing is, oh man. So we have core PCE tomorrow. Be patient. We have durable goods tomorrow. We have PCE tomorrow. Canadian unemployment rate, like personal spending, personal income. You have the estimates for GDP. So there is still some uh, important data points that could get these markets moving. Okay, so don't get discouraged. I gotta stop saying okay. I noticed that yesterday when I watched the stream. Aside from the mic issues, I was saying things wrong, and I wasn't being clear on what it was that I was trying to relay, and I kept saying okay. Let's go look at service now. And I mentioned to you guys I wouldn't mind, dabbling into some of these names. I don't want to get stuck in them and like let's see here. Like let me pull up a weekly chart. Let's do this because it's important to see. It's gonna be one of these days for me. It's gonna be one of these days. I can already feel it. Like my computer just doesn't want to work for me today. Just wants me to. It wants me to end the stream. It wants me to restart, like do whatever it needs to do. It's crazy, bro. I mean, if this thing is really setting up, if this is the new pattern, look how it just stopped going. I apologize. I really do. I apologize, you guys. I do. I apologize. This is fucking bullshit. All right, let's get back to work here. So IGV is having a nice day today. Maybe it's not. I I mean, this is a nice spot that it's pulled back to and it's held. You know, this is a really nice wedge you have forming here. Right there. It's a really nice wedge. You can get that breakout and a hold above 87.50. I'd look for a move back into that 50-day moving average. I'm going to keep my eyes on pounds here real quick. Let's go to the names that are trending. So the Qs are pulling back again. Am I going to turn out to be right? You just ripped right through prior day's high, pre-market high, like it wasn't even there. Qs have a little more room to pull in, for their support level. So we'll see what happens here. It's still, well, I can't say it's, I was going to say it's low volume, but the time frame that I was looking at, it's not even remotely close to being over with. So that's why it looked like it was low. You had some really nice volume off the bell. So the Dow's opening up red as well. The Dow's actually down the most right this second. IWM is down 1.9%. You see what I mean? You see how it just did that? I didn't even change the settings from that arrow. I didn't even. So be careful. Just be careful out there, guys. Just be careful. Just be careful. All right? Be careful. The Qs are down 1.2%. The SPY is down 1.1%. Let's go ahead. Let's go take an overall look. CRM is doing well for whatever reason. Let's go see if there's news with this. So they cut 10% of global workforce. Salesforce prices 25 billion senior note offering. Deco Group signs multi-year unlimited agent force 360 agreement with Salesforce targeting agentic AI. Nintendo was also in the news this morning. That was also. Let me see the ticker. NTDOY. So they have a Pokemon thing that Pokemon game for their. I think it was a Switch 2. I think is what it was called. That's supposedly doing really well. And they are. So you can see the past few days. Come on, Spy. Are you gonna hold this? And if the Spy holds this, watch out, guys. You guys might have another 10 points again to the upside, but we got that. We got that Monday in the Tuesday to Wednesday. You got your upside. So now are we looking? Are we aiming short going into the end of the week? That's a question you have to ask yourself. Is the tide shifting again? Where's oil? That's the other thing I have not looked at. Keep an eye on Nintendo, you guys. Keep an eye on this name. I think if we get pullbacks, I'll have to do some digging a little bit later on as far as, you know, uh, just a little bit of evaluation. Not that it doesn't matter, but I do like to know what it is that I'm paying for. So any pullbacks into that 50-day moving average, $15 or so, I don't see why it's not a buy. It's a buy for me. I'll say that. You're paying up for it, that's for sure. So watch this weekly chart on Nintendo because this could just be a weekly bounce back rejection here, and maybe it does have more downside. I don't know, but they just don't think the market is also this short covering you're seeing here is realizing the younger generation and stuff and the wide range of ages that Nintendo covers and their ability to just come out with a product and it just be off the shelves, to where you can't buy it because they're sold out, sold out, sold out. You saw that I think with the Switch 2 it was. Okay, USO here. USO's pulling in. You're coming in with a gap up / CL. See what I mean, guys? See how long it just took there for the what the fuck is going on, bro? So I'm having issues this morning, as you can clearly see. Conoco Phillips is doing all right this morning. A lot of what are we watching this morning? Everybody's thinking the same thing. What are we watching? Just the same thing you've been watching over the past few days. All right, / CL. You have a bit of a resistance zone right here. Let's go to why are the daily moving averages not showing up there? That's weird. Oh, that's because they're way down here. They are showing up. So it opens up over there and then bounces over there. Makes no sense, bro. Shit makes no sense. All right, let's see here. So you're having your equally weighted make new highs right now. I'm just going through the charts to see. So you are going positive. Keep your eye on energy. Keep that eye on energy because it may end up trying for another run back up to the upside. I'm going to try this right here. Let's see if it stops. Man, look how much time this. You know, they did not want to pay you on the downside if you not just if you were short. But let's just say you bought puts. Look at how much time the thing is chewed up to barely go down. It's a shame. You almost wonder if they're just going to keep doing this. I have thoughts that I would not be surprised if this keeps happening, where you just have these slow grind lower for freaking another 2, 3, 4 months. Could very well happen. And you look back and you're like, man, what in the hell? Like everybody just took their money slowly. They didn't give you a nice trade to the downside so that you could, you know, with AI, it's crazy because the reason I say this is because you never know what market makers and like how things behind the scenes are working for the markets. You know how they're using AI to, to help keep money in their own pockets, but doing things like this, triggering the emotion out of you, and then also not, we get in a war with Iran, and you never really get that massive downside move. When you do, you come in with the gap down, so the move's already taken, and then it bounces right back up, right? And it just seems to like not go nowhere, just slowly itching down lower and lower, just chewing up time. All right, pretty nice support level down here. Let's see what happens with the SPY. You could start seeing some, it's a possibility you start seeing some volume here. Yep, there it was. It just started limit ordering down. The volume is pretty nice here, so all right, let's do this. I'm gonna get rid of this. Just gonna look at my own names. Okay, and next level is going to be down there at six. What is this? 670. I'm sorry. 660, guys. 660. 660. You see, though, you still have this opening price right here at 667. So, but we didn't hold it. We did not hold that. So let's see if we get bounce back rejections in the 670. See if we can't do something here. Hold up, look at this. So you made a no, a low, you put in a higher, you put in a lower low, and markets are, that was a non-confirmed. Look at this. Holy cow. I'm still putting on the possibility of a reversal here. But let's see what happens here with the 15-minute chart. 5. Okay, the 5, that's good. But it's still doing the same thing. So these new lows are non-confirming. And I'm talking about, right? You see how you have this low from after hours, right? And into early this morning, right there. And then you put in a new low right here below that. And look, your MACDs, right? The ADX, or I should say, the ADX is trying to rise, but just keeping an eye on that. Okay, just keep an eye on that because that is non-confirmation that you know that low is there. But you can't always just go by that, so be careful. And look, you're already down 1.1%. You're already down a lot, so not a lot, but you don't. I don't think you have much meat on the bone because the SPY, in my opinion, usually just gives you at the most. If you get anything over 2%, anything up to 1.7, 1.75, and over 2%, like that's a lot. That's a pretty big move. So, and you're already at 1. You're over. You're at a percent and almost a quarter percent and a tenth. Mm. This is a tough market, you guys. This is a tough market. Break through it. There you go. Man, what a quick rejection right there. Okay. Oh, Amazon did give us that short yesterday up into that zone. Oh, it was pre-market. I think we talked about that yesterday. That we missed it. I missed it at least. Let's go to Palantir. Palantir is bouncing back up into that 50-day. Massive shake and bake. It's trying its hardest to shake both sides of this trade out, the shorts and longs. It's just my opinion. I think the the better trade would be to the downside. You have about equal amount of room to both the upside and downside. I just think you're coming into overhead rejections, but it all depends on what the market does too. It all depends on what the market does. I need to go look at Bitcoin real quick. Bitcoin's not doing much, just hanging in there, hanging in, hanging out. Here's uh here's Robinhood. All right, you're hanging out of your 20-day moving average, sitting at support. Um, just a lot of room here. You have resistance here. I don't think that's a trade for me just yet. ASTS. Okay, NBIS. Still don't think this is a trade either because it has some really good news. I mean, it is breaking. Maybe it gives it to you. I don't know, man. I don't really trust, you know, it giving you. Maybe I could try it. We'll just put the trade on and see what happens. But yeah, you have support right there at 105. More than likely that could come in. But if you break 105, then, that's really when it opens up. So I would, if you take that trade, I'd look for the 9 EMA or so to like try to reject, or, you got to break 105. 105. Yeah, 105, 106. I like 105 better. And then I'd look to take final profits down at 99, at $100. All right. This stinks, man. There goes the spy. I knew it. You turd, you turd, you turd. All right, so the Qs are right at support right now. QQQ is right at support, guys. You should have room back to 604 at the least. You have some data set. You have a data set tomorrow. What could be crazy? See, I don't like the volume thus far. I don't want to take the long. I feel like I do. I will because the chart's telling me I'm not going to fight the chart. But okay, so the spy made it through. I got spy up there. Why is? Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Come on, give me one more pullback and hold here at 670. Let me get that pullback hold at 670, baby. Come on. Look at Boeing, guys. Boeing is getting hammered right now. Okay, what I would do for Boeing is I would look if the Dow continues to get. It's already done. I wouldn't even. I'd stay away from it. I'm going to keep my eyes back on the SPY. Okay, keep my eyes back on the SPY here. If you guys could hit the like button, subscribe. I don't think there's anybody here, but it's whatever. Come on, bro. What are you gonna do, SPY? Everything's negative. It's a little hard to trust this long. It is. I gotta be honest. It's very hard to trust this. It's so hard to trust this. But here's why I feel like I'm forced to take it. Okay, so you know what happened Tuesday, right? We had the non-confirming upside, and it just ripped and ripped and ripped. Well, I'm afraid that like it doesn't do that again, and I just gotta. Just gonna be patient. Just gonna be patient. Let's see if we have any. If there's any events or anything today that are supposed to come out that could be market moving. Oxy did get an upgrade this morning as well. For anybody that may not be aware, they did get an upgrade this morning. Oxy. Oxy's ripping right now, guys. It's ripping. It's putting in a new high here. I think it was Wells Fargo that came out with a price target upgrade. All right, so the ES is closing at the bottom left. The ES is closing right below. Friday's close, Tuesday's low. Friday's low, Tuesday's low. And it's right there. It's right there right now. I think you could get some people that got rewarded Tuesday and they might get their butt whooped and not, you know. That's why I said going along that move was a bit dangerous. Sure, you made money, but then you try to do it again and you lose money because you got rewarded when in reality it was a bad trade. It was a good trade in the fact that you made money, but it psychologically messed you up because you took a trade with everything going negative on very, 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 very low volume, right? Um, so, but we'll see what happens here. Let me just go through some names here. Let me pull up the heat map real quick. So really, you have energy and software. Just a lot of everything else is red. Which I saw this morning. Walmart, HD. I have to use the restroom real quick. This is a nice setup here. Here's a trade idea, right? Walmart. We talk about it all the time. Buy, 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 buy. Setting up a system. Okay. We have all these zones here. Maybe we take this trade. Um, we don't want to fight the market, but I mean, we are negative. Let's see here. I don't want to get caught in an ugly mess, but I'm going to have to do it to prove to you guys these are the type of things you should be doing, and that's building a system, right? And that system would be like, for instance, right here, right? You're right here at support. See if you can get these moves back up higher. Where is USO? Gotta use the restroom real quick, guys. I'll be right back.
Oil. Okay. The industry that I'm talking to this morning is firmly against that. They said it will create logistical disruptions. It could actually raise costs. It's an interesting idea. It plays well with the public, right? If we potentially have a shortage, keep it here. Don't sell it around the world.
Doesn't that lower gas prices here or no?
Keeping it here or selling it around the world?
Keeping it here.
Yes, but
because then we have a lot of oil here, right?
That's the idea, and that is the idea that it's being floated.
We don't know if that'll work. Yeah.
You've seen some reports. The industry is out for the industry. The industry is pushing back on that. People I talked to this morning and saying, listen, we understand the optics. Keep it here. It'll lower prices. They're worried it will create additional logistical bottlenecks because the system is set up to move oil the way it is, not put it back in storage. In some cases, that storage can get full, not right now, but it can. So again, a little bit of a pushback from the industry against an idea floated, it's not official, floated by the White House.
Well, the president's going to China. I wonder what countries like China would think about that.
Most of the oil, as we know, and you guys have been reporting on this, doing a great job as well. Everybody listening and watching to CNBC knows that the majority of the oil going through the Persian Gulf is destined for China, a little bit to India. It's not coming here. There is no risk of the United States being short oil or natural gas. But China has been building inventories the last few months. But when we're talking, Carl, about a shortage anywhere between 5 and 15 million barrels a day, depending on what numbers you believe, because everyone's got their own estimates, you can drain 80 to 100 to 200 million barrels of oil pretty doggone quick. If you're short 10 million a day, do the math. 300 million in a month. These big numbers on global inventory releases, they can get drawn down pretty quick. And I also just don't know, and this is kind of more of a macro question for the energy experts out there. Sarah, I know you talk to a lot of people.
Got to be careful what you listen to, man. There's a lot of noise out there with this stuff. All right, I need to find something with news. Okay. See what these guys are doing.
Was about. Takes a minute. How good is this guy over there? Thanks, Andre. All right. So he's liking this Netflix trade. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I actually really like this Netflix trade at $95. I actually meant to talk about it, and then Palantir just went haywire. So
it seems like
yeah,
they're doing
this is that sort of that structure that I was talking about, right? You do now have these downside looks into 94.50.
So they're pretty much looking at the same thing. I just let me turn this on then. I'm gonna get rid of this. I need to All right. All right, so we have that up. All right, so the Iranian Revolutionary Guard says we will keep the Strait of Hormuz closed. They're so dumb. So they're just going to block themselves off from everything. U.S. oil industry executives are said to be worried that tightening of U.S. export restrictions could raise prices. Well, okay, So right now we're just hanging out. Look at this massive gap down, guys. We have a massive gap down here. Go check out Palantir. I'm gonna stick that right there. Pull it down just a wait. No, 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 no. Let's go here. No, I want to get rid of that. Hold on. There we go. I got it. That's 60%. All right, so here comes the S&Ps, guys. S&Ps.
And folks, Newswire just highlighting some of the commentary from KNS's call. They say conditions for guidance are upper end requires around 7.6 million tons agricultural volume ex trade goods and moderate MOP price increase in Brazil that spills into other regions and holds into the second half. Lower end is consistent with around 7.4 million tons prices and prices rather at end 2025 levels. They have guided for FY26 EBITDA between 600 and 700 million, assuming average.
Not sure what happened to him. Maybe his stuff died. Okay. So, Apple, downside. JP Morgan, just hanging out. This is why I haven't looked at banks and stuff. Goldman. Like, what is this? Like, what is this? Come on. Let's look at Amazon, Palantir. I mean, Amazon is back above these previous highs. Okay, it's up above these previous highs.
So we're around 10 minutes now to the bottom of the hour. And on the energy front, we are due to get the EIA weekly nat gas storage data this week. The consensus looks for a draw of 44 BCF.
You guys see what I said? Not to say that it can't happen, but think about all the people that just went long right there and lost money. Not to say that the trade ain't over with, but I was not comfortable with the long just yet. You have somewhat, not really. If you can bounce here, you have a bit of an inverse head and shoulders, which would be nice. Kind of, not really. Here's the shoulder, head. This would be your forming the right shoulder right now. It's a little like In my opinion, this is not a Head and Shoulders, because when they happen, they're very clear. So I'm happy. I have no position on right now. I was. Let me actually go to the daily chart.
For EQNRNO, executive at a conference says they cannot materially lift oil and gas output. CEO says focuses on maximizing current output, has no spare oil or gas capacity. And so comments from Equinor's chief speaking at a conference. That's for EQNRNO.
I think a test of 675 would be important, right? You closed just below it yesterday. Like if you look at it on a daily from a daily perspective. I hate the way this thing is. But a bounce back up into this zone would be pretty nice. Bounce back there. Up into 675. I'm not sure if you get it.
AMZ and Amazon, Italian prosecutors are requesting a trial for Amazon and four execs over alleged tax evasion.
Nice.
And this is the first time, apparently, that a big tech company faces a trial request after previously settling a tax case with Italy's revenue authorities.
Okay, so Palantir is just hanging out. Like it's just whipsawing back and forth. No real clear direction. Everything is mostly red other than software and energy. Just gonna be one of those days. We have some data that's coming out tomorrow that should be exciting and give us some more opportunity. Um, that should provide some more volatility. I'm gonna wait this out a little bit because I do want to see if we could try to bounce back. Like I want the markets to bounce back, but again, I don't know if that's gonna happen. Let's go look for some names here. Damn, TSM is getting slaughtered. All right, Marvell. Okay. If you guys could throw in the comment section some things that you're watching this. What's up, buddy? I am here since 2022, man. Don't worry. I feel you, bro. You're my own. You're the only my only guy that shows up. And I appreciate that. It's all good, man. I'm not entertaining. You know what I mean? And it's not. We're not here to be entertained. We're here to make money. You know. But it's good to see you. I hope everything is well. Right now you have waste management. The industrials waste management sector doing really well right now. We're doing okay, I should say. What else do we have here? Let's go look at McDonald's and Starbucks. CRM. CRM's been is popping this morning. You're bouncing right into resistance. I'm not sure what it was. I know they said something about somebody struck a deal with CRM to use AI, and they're laying off 10% global workforce or something. But I think you just have a nice little wedge here. Like, I personally would like to own ServiceNow. I'm so glad I did not buy it when I wanted to, which was part of the tariff sell off. Now it's all the way back down here. Like, some of the names that I reinvested in. Listen, I've been in the market for, I think it's like 2017, 2018. Okay. Um, it's so hard to pay up for a lot of these names, and and you just have to understand that the thing is built, the market's built to go higher. But it's like some of these names, like Goldman Sachs. I'm like, man, we've had this trade, and like you said, being here since 2022, you may remember we were on this Goldman Sachs trade with this daily setup right there. We had that consolidation for a full, like, almost 2 months. That nice tight pattern right here, it broke out, bang, that long, and it just never looked back. So, um, it's just hard. Like Nvidia, like I like this thing, like it's already split twice. It split twice in a matter of like 2 years, not even 2 years. So it's only showing one here, but I know that it's split twice. It split in like 2020, 2021, and then again in 2022, I thought. So you have a split here. So I'm almost positive it split and then split again. Like, just
So about a minute and a half until the bottom of the hour. Reminder, we are expecting the EIA nat gas storage data for the week. Consensus looks for a draw, 44 BCF.
let me go back to the SPY so I don't miss it. UiPath just hanging out. So that's at a support level. You have the 90 MA that's acting as a little bit of a, oh, well, you have this little support level too that's acting as a resistance. I don't know if that name goes anywhere. Like, I don't know if you're going to make any money on it. Like, I just don't see things moving. That's the problem. Hims ripped yesterday, so she's pulling back in now. Right? We could possibly take a swing trade on Walmart if we get another opportunity down here at 122, 121.95 at that 50-day right here. Remember I talked about yesterday. Okay, if you're struggling, right? If you're struggling to just consistently execute, this is an idea. Just like, Meta that I talked about yesterday and a few other names. Every single time you got into this 122 level, you buy it. The process with this is that you are not doing this to make money. You are doing this
10 seconds.
You are doing this to have a feel on buying into these support levels and starting to understand, just because this one doesn't
Draw
work,
38
the
BCF, draw
upside on the next
38.
five
EIA nat gas
or
storage
four.
change for the week.
You only need one or
Smaller than
two to get
expected draw,
you,
38
in
against
the
consensus,
driver's seat.
44
So it's about building a system, right, and having a playbook.
for ABVAX. They
Knowing,
are seeing a bit
hey,
of downside
anytime I buy
in
in these areas
recent
where
trade.
I'm
They are
supposed to,
denied
and I
the
buy it
AZN LN
correctly, I
takeover
give it the
rumors.
time,
So that's ABVAX
and
denying AstraZeneca takeover rumors.
you have to
Downside in recent trade.
you have to kind of worry about where the market's going, in a sense. Um, so right now, I'm not fighting the trend right this second. You know, the cues are pulling in, the spies pulling in. So That's why I think if you see us get down in here and let it hold there for a little bit, right? Take it, go 2, 3 weeks out, buy the stock itself. Take your money
For
back
the
into
Mexican
that
peso watchers,
125
President Scheinbaum seeks to limit the budget for local
20-day moving
legislators
average.
and senators, according to headlines.
Right? That's about a five. That's about a 3 point move or so. That's just one. The other one I gave out yesterday was Meta. This was another perfect example. Okay, you have all the selling pressure sitting up here, and once you bounce back to it, don't try to make money. Just worry about executing a system. Every time you got up here, it failed. You got up above it, pulled in, failed. Broke
Just
back
of note
above,
for
failed.
prediction
So you went
markets,
back.
the
That retest
CFTC is issuing a
Monday
predictions market
or
advisory.
Tuesday failed. Yesterday failed. Where are you at now? You're pushing yourself back down into 640, and that was the idea. So that was one. I gave that out Tuesday and yesterday, right? So, and I would say this is not the buying area. It is an area you could look for it to kind of hold, which would be Friday, say Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, Friday's low. I would honestly more so look for this. Okay, I would look for that to be the buy zone at 6:30. Okay, but if you hold Friday, the problem is now you're going to have a lot of things in your way if you try to hold 640. Okay, if you try to hold this 640, look, you got your 20-day, 50-day, 100-day. It's all bang, 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 and resistance levels all right there. So be careful. I would Meta might be a decent trade down in the 630, okay? All right. And let's see here. Um yep. Oh lordy. Let's see here. I think Starbucks was another one that we bought on the dip a few days later. Or it went down to 70, it bounced and it pulled back into 70 again and we bought it and then 2 days later or a day later you got news and it went right to 98. It's like 95, $100. So we had some nice calls here. All right. Mike is up. Let's see, because we need to hear the news. All right, so let's go take a look at the SPY again. We'll go look at gold. We'll look at oil. Right? See, I did not buy that dip because I did not feel comfortable. Now here again, listen to me. Remember what happened Monday, right? I tried, or Tuesday it was. It was Tuesday, wasn't it? Uh, right here we got that dip buy. Well, what you guys thought was a dip buy, what people thought was a dip buy, they got paid. I don't mean to yell, right? I tried it. I just stopped out because I wasn't because everything I was seeing was showing me that those highs up there were going to fail, and you were coming right into Friday's high, and this level here, you came up, it failed, reject, reject, reject. You got above it, hit it, failed. You hit it again, failed. It got up there. Sellers just stepped away. So what that does is they psychologically made people, okay, specifically retail traders, comfortable buying those pullbacks. Think about what they did today. Oh, we're pulling into to Monday's, pre-market highs, this pivot low. I'm going to take a stab at it. You know, didn't really work out for them too well this morning, did it? And here we are pulling back in. And I saw the same thing I saw on Tuesday. So now that they provided the comfortability that they got paid Tuesday, that makes it easier on your mindset to take the long again, right? Just like if you take a trade and it loses, you kind of have second thoughts taking the same type of trade and only for it to work out. So, all right. You're still holding this level. We do have a big gap down here. I just look at this. Look at the 5 minute. It's just
And folks, just in case it
something's got
gets
to
any wider
change here.
airing, the USS Gerald R. Ford experienced a fire, but it was not combat
Oh,
related, according to the headlines.
oh wow. Okay, you are starting to get a little bit of divergence, which is a good sign. Which is a good sign here. Let's go look at USO. We'll look at gold, like GLD. There's just not much going on today, and it is what it is. It's just one of those days. So let's go look at the world. So even the world here, guys, is pulling in as well.
Naval forces also say that the fire is contained and 2 sailors receiving medical treatment for non-life-threatening injuries.
NTR is bouncing pretty nicely, guys. Let me see something real quick. We actually made, I wonder if the volatility and movement today is in the bond market. Let's check this out. It's consolidating. It's nothing really moving. So we have data points tomorrow that we have to watch out for. All right, you have some retail sales, you have core PCE, things of the sort. All right. Pull this up. I want to fix my screen real quick. If we could start to get oil to pull in here, I may try to take this here. I might. Oh, we're above it. Shit, we're above that area. I just wonder if what I just saw. Okay, I'm on a 3-minute time frame. We're not overbought or sold. So that's 116. All right, so you have your pre-market highs from yesterday right up in here at 118 or 117.50. It's kind of just holding its momentum. So I'm not gonna fight it. I may, I wonder if we could take the long here. We just have to listen for the news. I wonder if something's gonna happen. The ADX is pulling in because you could really start to get this going on an hourly time frame. I like 115 better. I don't know why. Oh, wait. Oh, no, we did not put in a new high yet. Wait, you did right here. Patience, patience, patience. That's all it is. All right, so we have futures. I don't mean to yell, but whoa, what? See, look, I'm not even. Oh, it's a tough day here. It's a tough day here. Um, let's go take a look at Circle, CoreWeave. We'll just start throwing out some random tickers. If you guys could throw tickers in the chat for me, just say hello, something. Maybe hit the like button. That goes a long way. CoreWeave. Let's look at. We'll start with the daily chart. I'm actually going to throw up the scanner just in case something happens here.
Did you lose a lot of money sports betting?
Nope. I've been. Maybe one of those days where nothing happens here. We have some data tomorrow. I still don't like the volume that, I still don't have trust in the upside just yet. And I'm also not going short when you've already, we could have a bad day, but I'm not. So since we've opened, you're still at 1.27. We've been at that we were at 1.14 about a half hour ago. It's already almost 11 o'clock. So is there anybody? Let's see here. No, that's a shame. That's a shame. It's all good. It's all right. That is a good. This is a good sign right here. This is a very good sign in a way on a longer term time frame. All right, maybe they are going to try to send this. See, dang it. Come on, hurry up. This sucks, man. I feel like I'm going to lose money doing this, but I'm going to try to go long. Was there news there? I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything. No, you're coming into the 15-minute trade line right there. You're coming right into that 15-minute trade line, guys. Be careful here. I'm going to go for it, but if you follow me on this, be careful, all right? All right, be careful. There's a couple of things I want to see.
Just for those keeping an eye on the Brazilian real, Brazil government to zero PIS, coffins taxes on diesel. And this is according to O Globo. I think this is a bit of a translation, so please forgive us. We'll bring you more clarity when we see it. Brazil government to zero PIS and coffin taxes on diesel, according to O Globo. Again, it's reading verbatim via translation, it appears, so we will bring you an update if we see.
Oh my gosh, bro. All I'm trying to do is just move this over. Come on. I missed the long. I don't think I missed it yet. Be careful here, guys. My computer's just acting so
According to
slow.
Bloomberg, reportedly the Trump administration will be suspending the Jones Act.
What is the Jones Act, guys? Do you guys know? Is anybody here aware of what the Jones Act is? Oh my god, I'm gonna get so pissed, bro. I'm gonna get so pissed.
So just an immediate reaction to that news from Bloomberg, all futures did tick lower as Brent was trading around 130. We're currently at 99.50, seeing downside in wake of that article, or that news report rather. And just a bit more detail emerging. They're going to be suspending the Jones Act shipping requirements as part of efforts to curb oil price hikes. Just going to that O Globo article for the Brazilian rail watchers, the piece says that Brazil to eliminate PIS and coffin taxes on diesel to contain price increases due to the Iran war. It will announce on Thursday its decision to eliminate those, and the announcement will be made at the Palacio do Planalto by Rui Costa, the Chief of Staff, as well as Justice Minister and Finance Minister Haddad, and the Mines and Energy Minister. And the piece says that the Lula administration's assessment is that international price fluctuations are currently within expectations, although all markets remain highly volatile. They also add that Brazil's exposure to conflict is considered limited.
A minute. I'm going to take this here. I'm going to take it here. Hold on. I got to log back. You fucking bastards, man. I swear to God. All right. Well, I tried there for $1.25. Maybe it'll save me. How did I know? How did I know? Yep. See, I say it probably saved me. Things are still negative. I don't trust this. You know. I'm gonna try it. We'll see what happens. It's just this is not something I want to step in front of. What did I say? The 171s. We'll scale into this. Where is the Qs?
And just note, folks, for the Brazilian real traders, we are just seeing the real now weaken, so dollar real just rising towards session highs.
I don't want to get sucked into a long that's not there to begin with. But maybe that's where I'm wrong. Like, I want to go for tomorrow because I see a lot of things that are just be careful, guys. That's all. You know, don't force it. You know, if it's not there, it's not there. Don't force it like I'm trying to do. I mean, I'm okay with not putting something on. I'm okay with that. I don't need to like have a trade on for whatever reason. 15-minute going negative. Here you go. Watch this level. See if this breaks and you got some room.
Folks, around 10 minutes now to the top of the hour. There are some comments due from the Fed's Bowman. However, we don't expect that she'll be speaking on monetary policy, given that the Fed is in blackout ahead of next week's confab. We'll be speaking about financial stability and supervision, so will still be relatively interesting.
I apologize one more time. Oh my god, bro! I swear to God, dude, I could just fucking flip the fuck out. This thing just fucking with me right now, and I'm getting pissed. Like I can't even just fucking do what I need to do because it just keeps freezing, and all I'm trying to do is just make it so I can see the shit. Because every time I go to a different time frame or a different chart, it just like goes all over the screen. And if I don't have, see what it is you have to like, if you don't have like, say like this 5 minute chart, I have like 20 days worth or something. If you only have like 4 or 5 days or 10 days that it gives you, you don't see what you need to see on like levels that are important from like a prior week. So, you have to extend it. And then by doing that, it ends up just going like it tweaks out all over the screen for whatever reason. It's just dumb, bro. Damn. The options for tomorrow are so expensive, bro. They're so expensive. Wonder if they just run it up at the very end of the day. That would be something they would do. So, what is the Jones Act? The Jones Act is the Jones Act. Oh, the Merchant Act of 1920 is a federal statute requiring that all goods transported by water into U.S. ports be carried on ships that are U.S. built. I don't. That has no bearing. I knew about that one already.
Bit more news from Norway. The Maritime Authority announces that until further notice, Norwegian flagged ships will not be permitted to enter the Strait of Hormuz.
All right, I'm gonna take this, guys. I took this. I probably paid too much. That was ridiculous. Oh yeah, they got me. So I am in those calls, guys. I'm gonna try to give it a little bit of time here. Oh no, that's not where I want to be. I paid too much for those, by the way. I knew I was setting myself up for failure there. Okay, I paid 117. That's a very low volume balance. I feel like I should take my money. I'm gonna try to let this go for a little bit. It's a small position, so I'm okay. The problem is you're talking about decay now. So they're going to be all over the place. me see where everything's at here. Quiet day. This is an ugly chart, guys. This is an ugly chart. This was an ugly chart. Come on, let's go positive. Let's go. Let's go. There's nothing to be worried about. Look, you just can't hang on to anything right now. But the problem is you're down so much already. You know, it could always be
It's around
worse.
a minute and a half to the top of the hour. Again, we are expecting remarks from the Fed's Bowman. Earlier guidance had suggested there would be a text and Q&A.
Okay, so that could be your next catalyst, you know, with inflation and stuff about talking about rates, this, that, and the third. Just be careful out there. Stay nimble. Okay. I kind of forced that I kind of forced that trade, but it is what it is. I want to see if we can get back to 672. I want to see if we can get back to 672. That's my target.
Ten seconds.
Let me see if I can.
And remarks from Bowman over here. She says that regulators will vote on revised capital rules in the coming weeks that will reduce large bank requirements by, quote, a small amount.
Oh,
Fed and
that's
other
good.
agencies to vote on these revised Basel capital rule proposals and the surcharge for GSIBs. Regulators expect new Basel proposal will lead to small increase in big bank capital requirements, and the GSIB surcharge proposal will reduce them. Bowman says regulators will also propose new standardized approach for risk-based capital requirements for smaller banks, and the new proposal would increase capital requirements for operational and market risk, but accompanying stress test changes will leave those largely unchanged. Meanwhile, the US Treasury says it will be selling some 77 billion of 26-week bills 16th March, settling on the 19th, 89 billion of 13-week on 16th March, settling on the 19th, 85 of 6-week bills on 17th, settling on the 19th, 50 billion. Just be aware, US President Trump tweeting about Iran. The Iran national soccer team is welcome to the World Cup, but I really don't believe it is appropriate that they be there for their own life and safety. And he thanks us for his attention. So Iran national soccer team, welcome to the World Cup, but he does not believe it's appropriate that they be there for their own life and safety.
That's weird. Why? you're saying the regime's going to do something to them?
And just some other comments from the UK. UK's Healy says Iran likely mining the Hormuz Strait. And he's just speaking to reporters at the moment. He's citing evidence mounting that Iran may have started mining Hormuz.
Well, that's not good. But that's to their own detriment. I feel like, you know.
And folks, just going back to those auction announcements there, because we didn't finish them, just interrupted by Trump. The US set to sell some 19 billion in reopened 10-year tips, 19th March, settling on the 31st, and 13 billion of 20-year bonds, 17th March, settling 31st.
Yeah, it's just going to be an ugly day, guys. That's what it feels like. It's just going to be one of them days. I just don't, you know. I'm going to turn on something to watch. I'm tired. It's getting boring. So let's see if we get this hourly chart kind of hang out here. What time is it? It is 11:03. So it just opened. See if we can somewhat get a bounce here. I'd like to see a bounce, but I don't know if we'll get it. I'm still in these. I'm just gonna give it. I'm gonna try to give it the room that it needs.
And Hefe had an email about clapping somebody. He said, "I give you permission to clap them."
So he's not talking about it.
And I was like, "Wow, what if Hefe clapped Satoshi Nakamoto?" And that's why he liked Bitcoin, because he knew it from the beginning that the wallet will never move, because he clapped the guy himself. Ta-da! That's the theory. And then I got banned on Twitter for that. Thanks, Elon. Thanks, Elon. All right, man. SPY slow. Again, you just had the UK headline, and Fed Bowman. Basel plans to look better to support credit flow. Selena, bro, my girl told me that.
I want to see if
like, you
oil
know that's
goes,
not Selena
I
Gomez.
want to see if oil goes higher, but like starts to fail. So the ES is just hanging out here. It's already retested. I'm just, see, it would be cool if the ES would just run a test back to 675, 67.75. So I don't want. So it's only 11 o'clock. So I'm trying to give this thing a little bit of time here, but I don't want to. I'm not going to give it too much time because I'm not here to just waste and just sit and decay. I like my money, so I would like to see this 67.50 test. Like something like to bounce back in, even back in. I know you're struggling at Friday's lows. USO trying to make a new high again. Yeah, we'll see if I can get out of this. I feel like you had this bounce back. I still think this 67.50. Yeah, nice test. I don't know. I knew I paid too much for it because it took so long. They gave me extra. I put it in. Are you sure? It's risky. Blah, blah, blah. Like, bitch, stop. Are you sure? You sure? Can you just push okay that you're sure? You're sure? You're sure? And then, oh, here's the order. This is what you want? Okay. Like, I'm here to press 80 different things. I have it up. I've already pressed what I need to press. Come on, man. Bounce. It's going to fucking fail. Come on. Get up there. Go to 670.50. Hold it. Go to 6750. Just went back up there and test this level. Oil's making a new high, guys. So this probably more than likely isn't going to work out for us. So oil's making a new high right now. I mean, we're just chilling. You have enough volume on the sell side. You're just hanging out. So I'm not out of the long yet. I just hate that I paid more than I should. Gonna put it on, see if it works, man. If I can just get 672, I'm fine. If we can just get a bounce back into 672, I'd be fine. But the Qs aren't looking great. SPY isn't looking great. We're still above 668, so as long as we're above there, I'm only going to give it like another hour or an hour and a half. Oh, because it is a daily. I'm not paying $3 for a dollar move. I'm not paying $3 for a $2 move for tomorrow, if that makes any sense. That's why people sometimes think that options are a scam. They just don't understand what they're paying for. Right? If you're telling me I'm paying $3 for a $2 move, I'm good. You want to charge me $2 for a $2 move, I'm cool with that. Because I paid $2, I got to get that $2 move. And I still need, to get above it to be positive. So it's just not going to happen. Right? You had that spike that induced everybody to get in and everything. We're already down. We can go further. I'm not saying we can't go further. I just think, you just have too much overhead right now. It's just not, that 9 EMA is killing you. It really is. I was hoping to get a bounce back here on the hourly chart that just opened up. Right? Because that's still up there at like 671. Yeah, 670, 75. But the longer we sit here, it's just going to keep cranking down. And I'm not one to fight this type of price action. I'd love to see us bounce and get a nice rip like they did Tuesday. And I think that's what Tuesday's action was for, was exactly this, to get people comfortable going long when they shouldn't be, because it's what they don't see, right? Everything was negative. Everything was going negative. We tried it. I paid $1.90. You could, right around $1.70. It broke the lows and then quickly reversed. Broke the lows. I stopped out because, again, I wasn't going to sit in something that was potentially going to have a limit down. It could have got real ugly there Tuesday, right? You have nothing there. It could have just, you could have just had one of those candles where it's just like, whoop, and you're down, 40, 50% in a, minute, 2 minute candle, and it just, it just limit orders. You get all those stops hit, so I just didn't even get in it, but they got lucky, right? They got the move. Now they're comfortable going long. I'm trying it right now, but I'm not with that Tuesday group that was long. I'm not with them. I tried it, wasn't comfortable with it. You can't, if you could tell the future and say, hey, if you take this long, not only is it going to hold, but the sellers are going to step away. This is a different story. If you could predict the future and you told me that, then sure, I would have taken it. The whole time you climbed here, you had such low volume. Like, look how low that volume was. It's down here like 100,000, 111,000 shares. Yeah, look, it's getting ready to break. Oh, quick break, back up. All right, I'm going to have to get out of this. I'd like to try to hold it, but I'm not going to just hold on to a loser. Let's go see what the ADXs are doing and all that fun jazz. Just an ugly, ugly day. Now it's going to get to the point where it's just not moving. Can't believe I hit that. We need somebody to say something or do something here. I gotta put something on. Like I could put on the news thing that I had. It's only 11. What is it? 11, 11, 11, 12. Trying to give it a little room here, but I'm not just gonna sit and have my money decay. I keep saying the same thing over and over. I could be doing better things with my life.
My name's Alicia. My family's health is so important to me. That's why we choose a nurse practitioner. My husband.
HYFM.
So you just broke the 200-day moving average, and these contracts are getting. Hold up here because that is. Fucking idiot. And I said this. I said, don't take the long. Don't be a sucker for it. Tried it. I should have tried to get in at $1. I thought that it was going to happen there once they came out with those announcements, and not even that could do anything. It goes down on those announcements. You're not gonna get the move you're looking for. It's already showing you a lot of things here. The reason I'm holding it right now with this little break is because I'm seeing a little bit of divergence, just a little bit. Not much, but I am seeing a little bit. And see that reversal, guys? Look at that reversal. I told you. See? This is years of doing this shit in the market. Not to say that it's going to recover. Dude, I can't get a single fucking viewer. I'm just going to stop talking. I really want this test to 672, man. That would be perfect. This test would be perfect. I'm going to have to get out of this here soon. ugly. And I know people are fighting it like me. I can tell. I can tell. They're fighting the long, they're fighting the short here, hoping for bounce backs. And let's go take a look around real quick while we have some time. All right. Are you serious? Did you guys take that? Did anyone take this? What did I tell you? What did I say? Bro, look at that. That's your payday today. That was your payday. We'll see if we can consolidate up here, bring that hourly up, and then we'll try to get that 126. That was beautiful. Well done. Well done. It's a nice move. Come on, please just get the fuck above 170. Like, I just want to get the fuck out of this. It's not going to. Here's the thing. Once you just sit at an area, whether it's to the upside or downside, it sits there and it just brings everything down with it as it chews up time. You know. Are we really not going to run a test to Wednesday's low? It's a new low on a 15-minute time frame. I'm going to get my ass. This is not good. At 200 days way down here. Looks like we're headed back down to 665, you guys. Unfortunately. 665 seems to be the level. What time is it? 11:24. Let me get 172, bro. Come on, buyers. Step the fuck up here. Stop playing possum. Stop being a pussy. Let's go. Like, what the fuck are you scared of? Iran doesn't even have an army anymore. They don't have a navy. What are they gonna do? Block the Strait of Hormuz? Not like there isn't another valley, not another waterway right around the corner, only for Iran to block themselves off like dumbasses. That's something they would do because they're that fucking stupid. Just go to fuck hard. This is all dumb. Matter of fact, like even oil's like we have enough. There's not even that much, in my opinion, going on to keep oil even this high. Look at that big sell trigger right there that came in. Right? Look at this. Bink. You should start to have some negative divergence as well. Look, you're putting in new highs. That is a new high this week. Let's see. Today's Thursday. Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So you were coming in on a gap up from Friday. You know, I mean, it's somewhat non-confirming right now. I just maybe I just don't like the fact that I don't have exposure up until tomorrow. And why are we measuring oil? Barrels like how big is the barrel? And am I just supposed to know? Market's trying to put me to sleep here, guys. Market's trying to put me to sleep. Let's see. I want to listen to music so bad. Let me get my 72, baby. Come on. I don't mean to yell. Let me get my 72, please. Everybody's trading UiPath. That thing has been sideways, I figured.
perhaps a third of a dollar, 130, 133 would be a good area. I'm going to pack the patience. I'm not going to chase it. I'm going to insist that it comes before.
Just gotta make sure there's nothing going on like between the White House, things like that. I'm just gonna scroll YouTube and see what's out there. Yeah, I don't have anybody here anyway.
Some of those not too long ago. But yeah, I mean, you're paying $100 higher than a week ago. So I think it's a good company. I don't know if it's I do think that window has changed.
Average price. This one is a bit more expensive though, and it's a bit more spready, so you're going to have to account for that in your risk management. And there goes EONR again into 39. It's on the way to the $0.50 here. Be careful about how you get in. We're going to stop for a second. We're going up to Adira.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about crypto here. We'll do the crypto update while I'm here, but I want to also mention another headline. Now, this one we already kind of knew. It was already reported. Now it's been confirmed, at least on a speculative basis, from White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. So in case you missed it earlier, we did report, I think probably about like 10 minutes before the midday show began, that the U.S. was considering waiving the Jones Act. Now that is, of course, part of this Maritime Merchant Act of 1920, and basically it means that if you are, I guess, transporting goods between U.S. ports, you must be on a U.S. manned ship built by the U.S., U.S. flagged, etc. Now, again, we mentioned they were going to be waiving that to potentially try to get the oil price lower. Caroline Leavitt saying, or confirming rather, the U.S. is considering this waiver of the Jones Act, but the action has not yet been finalized. Now, if that is the case, that could lead to a drop in oil. Crude oil futures did actually spike lower when we first heard the headline, but as you've seen since, they've certainly recovered. Let's talk about BTC. Bit of a flag pattern of sorts over the last few days for Bitcoin. You get this nice push up on Tuesday with decent volume, then you get waning volume on Wednesday and Thursday, and in both days you get these ranges in which it's trading get tighter and tighter. You trade entirely within Tuesday's range all day and Wednesday, then on Thursday you trade entirely within the range you had on Wednesday. So these ranges are just getting tighter in the daily chart. Right now trading just above 70,000 for BTC. Now with that in mind, I guess what would be a change of trend here is if we break above or below the range on Wednesday. If you look at this weekly chart, though, Bitcoin is nicely poised for its second straight green week after a 6-week selling streak. So let's see if we're able to clinch that on Bitcoin. Ethereum actually poised for its first green week. It was not green last week, and they have been selling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. So let's see if Ethereum can break that nasty red streak. We'll take a look at the daily chart for Ethereum as well. Ethereum looking quite nice on the daily. The level we'd have to take out here for prior resistance, that would be that 2,200 level we made during last Wednesday's notable crypto rally on March 4th. Let's see if we can get to 2,200 as of right now, just shy of 2,100 for Palantir event is still happening. Market is not really reacting to the presence of any of these companies. If there is anything, though, that changes, that I'll, of course, keep you posted because I'm still listening. Back to you.
Unreal, man. All right, so yeah, there goes NVDA, a nice curl over there, guys. We're almost back to the break even on the TQQQs, only a couple of pennies away, but the momentum definitely starting to pick up to the top side, a bounce off of these bottoms, so not a horrible look whatsoever. And then IBIT blasted through, as Adira was just talking about Bitcoin, IBIT blast through the volume weighted average price, and the volume really started to increase on that 5-minute print there, guys. So not a horrible look whatsoever on that front either. Let's see what else we got. Has Apple found a bottom, starting to slowly curl over, double bottom right here. Essentially what I was looking at on the NASDAQ, it did an additional wick out, and then now starting to climb a little bit higher. My boy Stevenson, I'm long Qs down here. We break VWAP's day high. That'd be nice, brother. We're going to try to hold on to this, but we do have to keep into consideration that the downtrend is still fully intact until we break this bad boy, which it may seem like we kind of have right now. If we're fortunate enough, my friend, may the trading gods be in our favor and odds, we head right back towards the volume-weighted average price. That would be ideal. I like what I'm seeing on the lower time frames. Could be an ad opportunity. Let's see if we can take advantage of this trade and try to get a solid winner here for us today.
All right, man. Excuse me. I do apologize for the hot mic, guys. You know, it gets heated around here, right? And this piece of EONR is not letting me in, Joey. Just keeps rocketing up. I keep trying to put. I'm not going to chase after it. It has to come in to a technical level. Chasing after it just opens the door for all sorts of craziness and it gets your trading structure just goes all over the place. So it's not letting me in. I'm trying to pick it up off of a key moving average, and it just keeps rocketing up. I guess that's kind of this one's characteristic. EONR continuing to go. But I want to tell you guys, Mob Deep is absolutely back. MOBX, 83.70 high, coming back down now in 80 3/4. Good breakout. I want to say the breakout really happened at around 77.5. It looks like that's where the flat top came in. In fact, that was the implied balance high. 9:55 candle and 10 o'clock candle, all rejected. 77 and change. That's all until, of course, the 11:20 candle, which sent this one absolutely rocketing to the high side, 83.70. Now it's up 21 and change. My estimation here is this: if it loses 80. Could be on the bigger part, or could be, a bigger retracement, possibly down. Let's see if 80 holds. If 80 doesn't hold, I'm looking to that breakout area I just articulated, 77, 77.5. I'd likely front run it because it's going to get to be a crowded trade, much like EONR. So I'm thinking maybe even around 78. With risk all the way down to about $0.75, maybe even a little bit higher if you want to shore up your risk there. So MOBX on the NQ up 20 and change. Not a big percentage winner on the day, but a nice breakout there off a key technical level. So we're going to keep an eye out on that. Here comes EONR.
I'm probably going to get ready and get out of this fucking thing. It didn't work out. I'm not going to sit here and fight the market. Right? You're not getting any volume. I gave it a little bit of time. It's 11:30. Maybe I'll try to give it till 12. I mean, you could give it till 1 o'clock, but it's just anytime it starts to decay, anytime you bounce back, it's gonna be harder and harder to get your money back. I'm not taking back, the good that I've done this week for, maybe it starts working now. I don't know. I still think we could see a test of 672. I just think the market is just taking people's money right now. Or, if you that's if you're a buyer. Sellers are winning right now. Both selling stock and selling premium. So, I had this idea, right, where people are so comfortable getting long because they just think the reversal is going to happen, especially from what happened Tuesday. And this is what happened. It doesn't do it. Oil's still climbing higher. It's struggling up here, which is good. If you could get a pullback, that would be nice. It may not happen until tomorrow or at the very end of the day. And if that's the case, if you get like a random, like fall in oil and a rise in the SPY, you could be down 70% on that position and going back to break even profit. Are you willing to stomach that? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Right now, they're not coming out with news. It does not hold highs. Don't fight it. I was trying to see if we could just at least get a fucking bounce back on the hourly time frame to just somewhat take a smaller loss, which I still think is possible. I know they want me to sell it. Like I guarantee you guys, if I were to get rid of it right now, they're gonna rip the shit out of this thing. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. Obviously I'm joking, but come on, let's go. Let's get these shorts to get scared. Like get them nervous. Right? This is a good zone here. And I feel like you could have a really nice test, but it's just lousy. Just one of those days. Look, 67 now. Like that's about it, man. I'm not. I knew I should have fucking just tried to get them at $1. But if I didn't grab them, then the fucking news would have sent it just ripping and roaring. So trying to give it some room here. I'm pushing 50% down on these, if not already there now. So I mean, even if I can just get a small, like if I can just get this back to a smaller loss, I want to see us get back to 172 on the SPY. I think that is possible. I do. It's just it's not possible. The more we do this, the more we do nothing, and just sellers continue to just keep this thing down, and buyers don't show up. I mean, a test of yesterday's low would be nice. Like, where are you gonna go? Right? Where's your next target? Probably yesterday's low. You had all those buyers there. They're down money. Let it bounce back there for them to become sellers. All these buyers here, bounce it back up there, so they can, manage their loss and flip from being a buyer and let them flip to being a seller. So, but look, every bounce you get, bro, every little bounce you get, it just gets taken back. They don't want to let it run, and you're getting more volume on it. If you ask me, I think it's bullshit. I think there's something going on there on why the fact that this stock or why we haven't already, ran a little bit. I know we have things in our way up ahead, but you've spent all day not going even further down. You already opened up down and you just sat here. Like, people are not going to go short. Like, sellers are not stepping up, right? Buyers are stepping up. Sellers are stepping down. Look. So there you go. Keep it pushing, bro. Keep it pushing. Let's go. Sometimes you just got to talk to it a little bit. But the problem is you're running into more resistance at 670. We got to get through that shit. Let's go. See, just like that. From being down 50% to a profit. Let's go. Give it to me. Oh, my God. No, no, no. Go, 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 go. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Done, done. Market. Just market order. All right, 140. I'm out. Come on, baby. 148. Let's go. Let's go. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'll take it. I'll take it to the bank. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Guys, I was trying to limit order. And it just kept boom, boom, boom. It was 114, 30, 40. I'm like, no, not 130. Just market order. Fuck it. Market order. Fuck that. Fuck the playing around limit shit. So I got executed on that at 150. They gave me 150 on that mother trucker, bro. They paid me on it for sitting on my hands. Damn, they gave me 150. Nice. Nice. That's what we needed. We need that little bit of short squeeze. Right? And then look, see what I mean? That 170 is resistance. But those candles there show you shorts are getting out because it's not doing anything. I hope you heard that loud and clear. That's another green trade for us this week. Right? This is why you manage your position size and you don't go in balls to the wall thinking you're the shit. And then you're down 50% and now you're throwing up and can't manage your position. All right? You can let your nuts hang. You just need to do it in an appropriate manner. Okay? Like, with the volatility, the way it is and where the VIX is, kind of like a Fed day, you don't need to, have a whole lot out to have a nice little return for yourself. I mean, that was close. That was at least 35%. That was a 30% trade right there. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. I still would like to see a 672, guys. I would. And you could start to get it here. Right? You could get it here. You just went in, broke, you retested that. Here it goes. Let's see if you break through this previous resistance at 170. You got to break that 15-minute trade line. You got to break it. I wanted to hold it to 172 price, but the fact that I was up like that and I had to take my money with the way the price action is. All right, so it is 11:42. We're going into lunchtime. That might be it for me, guys. Again, my target's 672. I think you can get there. I don't think you should have any issues getting there. You might have some issues getting there. Don't get me wrong. You'll have some issues, but I think, in my humble opinion, I would be surprised if you do not see 172. Look, I got out at 150. Those contracts are still okay. There they go. They were 130. Now they just switched to 145, 140. Look at the bid ask. It's the same. It's like not keeping up. 149, 150. It's nice that they're tight and they're jumping a nickel at a time. That's probably my computer screwing up, is what it is. Oh, look at that. They're trying to give you that rejection. No, that's not a rejection, actually. That's a break and retest on the 15-minute time frame. There it is. Bink. You just broke the 90 MA on the 15-minute chart, pulled in, brought in more buyers. Now you're working your way back to prior day's low. If I could have got this lower priced, then I would have had no problem holding even after that rip. But looks like I may have done well because you're still sitting at 149 ask and 147 on the bids. And they executed me at 150. I'm happy about that. I almost screwed myself by trying to limit order. It was sitting at 140 and I'm trying to put in like 132. I'm like, oh shit, what's going on? Like it's ripping. Oh, I'm surprised it paid that much going there, which is good. Let's go see where the VIX is at. And I'm going to get up out of here, you guys. All right, you know what? I'm actually going to end it here. Thank you guys for being here with me. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. 7 viewers. We'll see if we can get things changed and fixed. With that said, have a good one. Maybe, I just suck at streaming. It is what it is. But this way, if there's anybody out there that finds the stream later on, I can go back and also go through my trades. So all in all, it's good. Let's see here, 169. She's pumping, guys. That volume's coming in. That's what. And isn't it funny as I'm talking about it and I'm saying like, yo, we have sat here for so long, like something's got to give. Like you're not gonna have, because we're down. We were down over 1.5% down here. You're not going to have people come in and say, oh, I'm going to short the market. I'm sure you have a couple idiot retail traders thinking that. I'm sure that there was somebody out there thinking that. But overall, anybody that really does this for a living and knows what they're doing, they're not thinking that. Just like they're not even thinking about going long. But it was going to come to a point where, you have to think about yesterday's positioning. Whoever got short on the break and anywhere, just anybody that got short yesterday, held overnight, guess what? They got paid. So if you're paid on that position and you're trying to give it room to do what it needs to do, and it's just sitting there all morning from 10 o'clock going into 12, you're like, all right, I'm going to go on lunch, so I'm going to start, taking some of my profits because I want to go get lunch. Right? So I was literally saying it like, yo, this is ridiculous that we're not getting a bounce because you're like people are not shorting anymore. Like sellers have stepped away, buyers are stepping up. Like something is or should happen, and we got it. So that's that. Yeah, I'm yapping too much. You guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see y'all on the next one.